How did the Sarajevo incident lead to the world catastrophe between 1914 and 1918? So we are saying World War I, 1914 to 18, was fought between members of the Triple Alliance, German, Austro-Hungary, Bulgaria, Turkey, altogether, of course, members of Triple Entente, Britain, France, Russia, and later USA, Serbia, Japan, and Italy. So we are saying the Sarajevo incident meant the assassination of Prince Franz Archduke Ferdinand and his wife Sophie by a university student from the Black Hand movement called the Prince on 28th June 1914 in the streets of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia. So in this kind of arrangement, we are like saying today, after the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, there emerged the World War I. So we need to understand how the Sarajevo incident led to the world catastrophe. Number one, it increased the Austrian determination to destroy Little Serbia. Let me tell you, when the Serbs assassinated Franz Ferdinand and they refused to apologize to Austro-Hungary, this increased Austria's determination to destroy Little Serbia, because Austria had a reason to attack a country called Serbia. And by this time, Serbia was supported by Russia, since it was a member of the Pan-Slav movement, and this created conditions for war. Another one, it prompted Austria to issue a harsh ultimatum to Serbia on 23rd July 1914. So we are saying today, 23rd July 1914, Austria sent a harsh ultimatum, warning letter, telling Serbia to apologize for assassinating Franz Ferdinand and the wife Sophie, even to let Austrian police who come in Serbia to see the culprits who were involved in the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and the wife Sophie. By this time, Serbia, under the influence of Russia, refused to honor the ultimatum. When it refused, it is this that caused the world catastrophe. Because by this time, Austro-Hungary declared war on Serbia, which finally led to the war. Another one, it made it German to issue a blanket check to Austro-Hungary. Let me tell you, since German had a great ally called Austro-Hungary, it sent a black check. This is where German gave confidence to Austria. German told Austria, you must declare war on Serbia. And this made Austria to become confident. Austria declared war on what? Serbia. When Austria declared war on Serbia, Serbia was supported by Triple Entente, Austro-Hungary by Triple Alliance, and this led to the world catastrophe. Another one, it is part of the war between Austria and Little Serbia on 28th July 1914. We believe by this time we are realizing that this was the spark of the war. Maybe at one time they could fight, but the spark of the war was the assassination at Sarajevo. Because Austria had a great point to prove to the world to attack a country called what? Serbia. And by this time, Serbia was supported by Triple Entente, Austro-Hungary by Triple Alliance, which led to world catastrophe. Another one, the incident strengthened the Russo-Serbian alliance because by this time, Serbia knew that it could not survive alone fighting against Austro-Hungary. By this time, it had to cooperate with Russia in the alliance, since Russia was the lead of the Pan-Slav movement. And by this time, this led to the world catastrophe. They were meant to fight because they wanted to prove that I'm greater than you. Every country wanted to do what? To prove. Another one, it widened the rift between the Triple Alliance and Triple Entente. Because by this time, members of Triple Alliance had a point to declare war against members of Triple Entente. Since members of Triple Entente, under the influence of Russia, were supporting Serbia. And by this time, Austro-Hungary could not accept this. This led to the world catastrophe. They were meant to fight because they were attaching to the Sarajevo incident. Another one, it enabled the European powers to implement their war plans. Anglo-French people altogether. Let me tell you, European powers capitalized on this to put into practice their war plans. They had the war plans on paper, but they did not have a reason to show to the world that we need to fight altogether. But by this time, after the assassination at Sarajevo, they started conflicting greatly, and this led to the world catastrophe. In this kind of arrangement, we are saying it increased the European nationalism. For example, in Austria, we are saying today, European nationalism. For example, in Austria, France, all of these countries increased their what? Nationalism. Love for one's what? Country. Because Austro-Hungary could not just see, it had to prove that the people of Austria loved their what? Their country. So that's why after the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and the wife, Sophie, they had to fight to show their nationalism. Love for one's country. Another one, it gave Germany an opportunity to get involved in the Balkans to fight her long-term enemies. We believe at one time, Germany had a conflict with some countries in the Balkans altogether. For example, Russia. I think you remember, even in the Berlin Congress, Germany supported Austro-Hungary against Russia altogether. So it capitalized on this German to fight against her long-term enemies, creating reasons for fighting. Another one, it exaggerated. It led to the exaggerations of the press. Newsmen, after the assassination at Sarajevo, they wrote in papers that if Austro-Hungary doesn't do something, it's a what? A coward. By this time, when Austro-Hungary told Serbia to apologize, they wrote in papers that if Serbia apologizes today, it is going to be a coward. So they put countries in a war mood, and this led to the world. How did the Sarajevo incident lead to the world catastrophe between 1914 and 1918? So we are saying World War I, 1914 to 18, was fought between members of the Triple Alliance